Funds. How many of us have them? Funds. Ones you can depend on. Get those funds. Welcome to the Balance Your Books podcast. I'm Kimberly.
I'm April.
And I'm Keena.
And we're your balance partners.
We are back, ladies. Hello.
Yes.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
So our topic today, it's a little different. We're gonna take a different angle. We're gonna get away from the financial statements, and we're gonna talk about grind and rest. But God is up and working.
Yes.
Okay.
And what does that really mean for an entrepreneur? Grind and rest. God is up and working.
Yes.
So this topic is really about, for entrepreneurs, let's take a step back. We've already been telling you a lot about your financial statements. We've started telling you about different things you need to make sure you have in your business, whether it's, around entrepreneurs or contractors or, all different things we've talked about. So check out some of those other podcasts. And by the way, Kimberly, how do you find out where those other podcasts are?
Okay, you can find the Balance Your Books podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. You can like, subscribe, share, and reach out and let us know if you have any questions. It's easier on YouTube because you can make a comment, but you can also go to our website, yourbalancepartners.com, and let us know.
Yes, there's a contact form on our website for you. So, as we get into this topic, so April told me not to ask her first. So, Kimberly, I'm going to ask you first. When we talk about the importance of rest and of stopping and doing those kind of things. What do you think about when you hear grind, rest, God is up and working?
Well, first, grind. When I hear grind, I think about the beginning of my career when it was by any means necessary, working all throughout the night. Even if you were low on sleep, you were working and you were grinding, right?
Ooh, we were grinding.
Yes, we were grinding. When I would get rest on the weekends, that's when I would get rest. And sometimes I work through the weekend.
Yeah.
But as I'm not going to call myself a biblical scholar, but knowing what the word says, it says that God will keep you and he doesn't sleep nor slumber, right?
Correct.
And so while we're grinding, we're not letting him do what he does. We're taking everything into our control. And I'd like to bring up a quote.
Okay.
Fawn Weaver,
We should have
Uncle
some old
Nearest.
fashions on the table.
Yeah, we should have had some old fashions on the table. But one of the things she said when I went to her book signing and she was talking to us, she said, every morning when I wake up, I'm excited to see what God did while I was asleep. Meaning, I don't have to stay up all night for my business to prosper.
Right.
I don't have to stay up all night for my goals to come to pass.
Right.
I can go to sleep, get my rest, and if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, I can be excited about what happened while I was asleep. So that is what I think of when I think of God, when I think of grind, rest. God doesn't sleep or slumber. And we need to be rested to make sound decisions.
And that's, let's talk about that. Making sound decisions. What could be some of the things that you do to ensure that you are in the right mindset?
Well, you know what? Let me just piggyback off Kimberly for a second before we get into sound decisions.
Okay.
You want to get into bad decisions before we get into sound decisions?
No, not bad decisions.
Oh, okay.
But
All right.
when she was, just kind of speaking about from her perspective, it made me think about something that I used to debate. And I wouldn't say debate, but have conversations with my mom about. And she would always say, April, have a little faith. Just have a little faith. And I was like, I always thought, I don't have time for faith.
You got work to do.
I got work to do. I need to get it done. Like, I'm not relying on faith. So it wasn't until I was much older that I realized how key that is. Sometimes you just have to believe. Sometimes you just have to have that faith. And, God is working in the background, or whatever you believe in is working in the background to make things go right or push forward, or what have you. And when it comes to rest, I feel like some of my best ideas come to me when I have a clear mind.
Right.
I don't know if I'm the only one, but sometimes I'm dreaming and I wake up and I'm like, that was a great idea. And, if you're not getting proper sleep, if you're not taking care of your mental and physical, then, all of that hinders your natural capabilities of your body working for you and giving you those ideas and things of that nature that help your business grow.
Yes, because thinking of a quote, and when you were saying that, one that I don't know where I saw it. I don't know, nobody sue us because I don't know who said it. But anyway, it was your conscience is God's way of staying anonymous, right? So when you're in that clear space, and it always comes to you, then that's what it is. That's that spirit speaking through you, giving you guidance, always working into your favor.
Okay.
But if you're not allowing that, if you're not opening up yourself and allowing that to be present in your life, then you could be running and running and running and making the best decisions for you.
Yeah.
And it's funny, my team back in my corporate America days, my team got used to me saying, I would always say, wait, let me go home and let me take a shower. Because that's where I get a lot of clarity, is that just taking a nice hot shower, and like all of a sudden problems I couldn't figure out, when I'm in there, I'm like, all I need to do was do this, then move this, then move. It like all of a sudden all this clarity comes because I'm clean and clarity.
That's that OCD in you.
It's clean and clarity.
Yeah.
Comes and I get out, I'm like, now I know what to do. So my team started to know, like, well, wait, let Keena go home and take a shower, and then she'll probably figure out which way we want to go. But that's part of letting that conscience come to you, and that God presence come into you, so that you then are able to have more clarity in your decisions.
Yeah.
So, and like, what are some other things you all do in order to protect your mental health? Because now we are all entrepreneurs, and it can be stressful.
It can be
especially
stressful.
when because it's the money grind, right? And the cash grind and your bills and all this kind of things. So how are you protecting your peace?
One of the things I do, and I've been doing this for years, is, and you guys know, my phone goes to do not disturb
Yes.
at a certain time.
Because you have to call twice to get cut
Well,
through.
that's not the purpose of it, because you're not supposed to cut through. But my phone goes to do not disturb at a certain time. And it's earlier than when I go to sleep, because you like to say, I know you're still up. Yes, it's earlier than when I go to sleep, because I need my mind to calm down so that I can go to sleep. And I've had people say, what happens if there's an emergency? And this goes back to me fully believing that God is working when I'm asleep, because every time in my life there's been an emergency, for some reason, I woke up. Even though my phone is on silent for a while, it would happen like clockwork in March. I don't know how, but my Amex would get compromised. And when that happens, Amex will call you, they will text you, they will send an email.
right.
My phone's on do not disturb. I mean, and do not disturb, it doesn't vibrate, nothing. I will wake up to go to the bathroom and look over the phone, and even though it doesn't vibrate, it would be something that would make me look at my phone. And it's like, oh my gosh. And I would call. One time, a good friend of mine, her mom had passed away. And I knew her mom was sick. And I just happened to wake up, and I said, I checked my phone, because I don't check my phone whenever I wake up. There's some things that's happened with both of you that I'm not going to bring up, because I don't want us to get emotional. But my phone was on do not disturb, and I just happened to check my phone and know that this is what's going on. That let me know, those instances let me know that if there is an emergency, it will get handled. But it also gives me comfort and rest, and putting my phone on do not disturb and going to sleep to protect my mentals. Don't call me. I don't need any of that. It goes to do not disturb. And for me, my rest is important so that I can be re-energized to go out and conquer the world.
Yeah.
Take on the next day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, April, like one of the things you've done recently is start biking to work. Do you think that helps your mental?
No. That's funny.
Or is that adding stress? What do you think when you get to work? So you bike, maybe it's like 4 miles in the mean streets of the ATL downtown.
Yes.
Is it 4 miles?
Yes, 3.9. And I'm very excited about it. So I'm enjoying it, but it is very stressful because I want to make sure, first of all, if anyone has ever biked in the city of Atlanta, it's not smooth sailing. You know,
is
it's
not.
like bumpy roads.
Potholes.
I used to mountain bike back in the day, and it's equivalent to mountain biking. I mean, you are dodging potholes, bushes. You got to jump on curbs when you can't go on, right in the street. You got to bypass homeless. You got to, be ready at any time to jump off, to fight if you have to. I mean, so yeah, you got to be ready for anything. Look, I've been living in the city for a while, so I have had my MARTA days, my walking days, my e-biking days, my driving days. So no, that's not a stress.
So that's
relief.
not okay. That's
Absolutely
not.
But the Tatiana who inspired me to e-commute has said that that's what it does for her. When she gets off work, it allows her time to clear her mind before she gets home.
Yep.
But for me, I would say a lot of where I find peace and tranquility is in the creative side of my mind. So I say that I have this analytical side, but I also have this creative side.
Right.
And so, making a t-shirt, painting a room, those kind of things help me kind of relax the analytical side of my brain and just find pleasure in, basic things. It could even be cooking or planting.
Yep.
Things like that is what helps me clear my mind.
And that's, and surprisingly, well, not surprising probably to us as accountants, but most accountants have this creative side. And I think there's a misconception about people in our profession like being just completely one way, but a lot of them tend to be musicians for one. Maybe that kind of aligns with that a little bit, or some other type of creative thing that they like to do that kind of balance them out as a human being. But usually most accountants that I know, they actually have something that they do that is more of a creative.
So what about you? Is it your cleanliness, your OCD?
Okay,
For getting
so
clean.
is it OCD or is like OCD to me is like I have to touch the knob 3 times before I walk out. Like that's what I consider OCD.
That's another level. So if we want to talk about levels, you are one of them.
Right.
You may not be that one.
Yeah, that's like, But no, but it is, I love to organize. Like I love to put things in, I love to figure, it's almost like puzzles. Some people are good at like you're great at word puzzles. Like word puzzles just don't. But spatial, like things where I'm moving, if it was blocks or things like that, physical things, that's what I like. So it's like when I was visiting my parents last month, I dug out an entire bed, put in some new flowers, laid down the stuff, put in the mulch, and the feeling. And I just stood there and just kept looking at it when I finished. And I was so happy.
The beauty.
Yes, because it was just like,
Of your work.
it was chaos, and now it's order. And I would just walk back out and look at it again, and that was like my moment of zen was to look at, so I'm looking at the finished product of like, okay, now it's all organized. So when I've organized something at both of you all's homes before, which I have,
Yes, she has.
I will just
OCD.
sit there and stare at it and feel good. And you all would be like, yeah, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, this is a masterpiece.
It would be a struggle getting through the organization for me.
Yes.
I'm like,
yes.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, how much more do we have to
Right.
do?
'Cause I'm like,
that is it.
can we go to the movies? Can we stop?
Yes.
And Keenan's like, no, we're not
know.
going to stop until we're done.
That's when the OCD, I guess, because it's like we're
Yes.
gonna finish the task.
Right.
Yeah.
But it helps clear my mind. That's my rest. That it's
good.
work rest.
Okay.
Work rest.
You know,
'Cause
some
you're
people
still-
work out.
Yeah.
I organize.
Because that's another thing. I work out every day.
Yes, you do.
And-
you do.
I started working out every day for a physical reason. I was like, I need to get this together. But it filtered into, I have to, because it clears my mind, the endorphins and all that. But it helps to clear my mind. Working out, singing, you know.
Oh yes,
Those-
as we do on this podcast.
Yes,
a lot.
every now and then a song will come up. But yeah, those are things that I do to rest and to clear my mind. And it helps me. It's what I learned in therapy. It's part of my toolbox. When things are hectic, I go to my toolbox and find something, whether it be working out, it might be singing, it might be word puzzles,
Yep.
you know, something like that to just get me back. And it's taking a nap.
Oh yeah,
You know,
you are.
I
Yeah,
am
she's
the
that
those
gangster napster.
15-minute naps. I love them.
No, her
I've been
nap-
a connoisseur for years.
of the 15-minute nap. No,
Mine
what
are-
are you? At least 30 minutes to an hour.
They're usually at least an hour.
Yeah.
Like,
Ooh,
yeah.
I will wake up tired.
No,
and
no.
exhausted
I
if
wake
I
up
was
like,
asleep
ooh.
for an hour.
Yeah, no. I take naps because it's partly because if I don't start my day working out, it just throws my day off. So even if I
I
Wish.
can that rub
I
off
know.
on me? Because
Jeez.
goodness gracious, when I work out, there is nothing pleasurable about it. I mean, and I played sports. I've worked out for years.
Yeah.
Shoot, I taught Taibo.
You sure
you
did.
sure did,
But
yes.
You were a
now
Taibo
that
instructor.
was enjoy. I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
The teaching aspect of it, but working out, no. I just do it because
It's just good for you.
Right.
Right.
That's why I
I
do
know
it.
I remember when I did, remember Couch to 5K? So, because I was like, so I got the app and I was going to run and I was going to, you know, people talk about, oh, and they have the endorphins and they feel good and clarity from running. And, you know, all I ended up with at the end of that was a bad knee. Because I went and did all the different, I did the Peachtree Road Race, I did different 5 HBCU 5K, this 5K, that.
Yeah.
And I kept looking for peace, and I was running, and I was like, this is torture, and I hate it. Like, the peace never came.
Yeah, and I was doing 5Ks, 10K, stuff like that for time purposes. So that when I ran in the Peachtree Road Race, I get a better number. You know, but that it was not about peace and tranquility.
There was no peace.
Yeah,
for you.
it was just about numbers and trying to advance.
And get your letter, a higher letter in the Peachtree Road Race.
But I think what one of the things that I think the three of us have highlighted, all accountants, all CPAs, good friends, your piece comes from different things.
Right.
Yes,
And
yes.
it's important that everybody find out what brings them peace.
Yeah,
What
absolutely.
helps them rest. And
Yes.
it doesn't have to be sleep rest. But
Right.
what helps your mind rest
Yes.
so that you can focus and so that you can, again, make sound decisions.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And I said this quote to you all earlier, but you all were looking at me a little blank.
We got it now.
Oh, because when I was like, but because when in doubt,
Don't.
Look, was I supposed to say something? Because I heard you talking,
Yes.
but I wasn't really listening.
Oh,
So-
okay. Well, thank you. You have,
What was
I
the
have
part I
such
was
good
supposed to
self-esteem.
say?
What I said, don't.
Don't.
Oh,
when in
okay.
doubt, don't.
Okay.
And that is one of the biggest lessons that I think I've learned is if you have to talk yourself into it, especially when it comes to your business, if you're like, well, because maybe you're listening to a whole bunch of different people. So you're trying to talk yourself and convince yourself that maybe this is a good thing. If there is really doubt, real doubt, then just don't. Maybe you need to pause.
Yeah.
Maybe you were grinding, maybe you need to rest and let God work for a little bit and see what that clarity is going to be. What do you all think about that?
I agree. I was going to say another scripture, but
No,
yes.
please, go
Well,
ahead.
he says, be still. He says,
Yes.
be still and know that I am God. That's what the word says. And sometimes we need to be still, stop, and allow things to happen.
Yeah, and I heard a recent quote when I was doing a Peloton workout.
Okay.
With Marcel.
Were you enjoying that one or were you hating that one too?
It's never a joy.
Oh, okay. I
yeah.
just
I was
didn't
gonna say,
know.
it was
Never a
Marcel,
joy.
but okay,
I mean, I like them, and I like the music, so I'm like, making the most of it. But
Right,
there's
okay.
nothing joyful
Okay,
about.
I'm sorry. Go
Let's
ahead. Go
get
ahead.
this
Yeah,
quote.
that's not me. But she said that her sister told her, it was, if you're gonna worry, why pray? And if you're gonna pray, why worry? And I was
I've heard
like,
that.
that's so true.
Yeah.
So true.
Yes.
So true. You got to choose.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
I've told my mom that before. I don't know if she believes me.
No.
But yes, I'm like, yeah, you've got to. You're either gonna have the faith, or you're not. So one or the other.
And,
Yes.
and again, when you're talking about your business,
Yeah.
when you're talking about money,
Yes.
especially when money is low,
Yes.
it's hard to stop and rest
It is.
because you want to take control. But the problem is, if you're not rested, if you can't think straight, you're going to make the wrong decisions and you're going to
Right.
do the wrong thing.
Right.
Well, when the money is low, all you can do is have faith. I mean, what else you gonna do?
Well, they're
Well,
good, but
I have
sometimes people
money.
are grinding like, okay, well, I can make this,
No.
I can hustle this, I can do that. If
No.
we do, and one of the things that people do in business is, especially with getting, bad loans, getting into taking on bad partners for their business, and doing all that because they may have a nickel or this one offers you this, instead of stopping for a minute to say, well, wait. What does that really do? If I take on this loan and this loan has 20% interest, sometimes you may need to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
May have
Because
to.
you may have to do it because you've got some future receivables, you've got some future revenue that maybe you can leverage. But in this case, maybe it's not. Maybe you're just knee-jerk reacting when it's like, no, if you sit back, maybe there's some expenses you could cut instead to get you through this part until you get those receivables. So,
Right.
but taking the time to really plan that out as opposed to I just grinding,
Yeah,
and not
yeah.
resting.
Right. But I think that's why it's important to have a CPA, because hopefully they can help you work through those type of scenarios before they actually happen and plan for them.
Yep.
So, because once you're in the midst of it, it's too late.
Right.
And if
Yeah.
you want to keep your business, you're going to feel like you have to do, a bad loan or take on an investor, and you can't really see past that. So,
Right. And a lot of times we're part of the rest for
Right.
for the entrepreneur.
Right.
You having your CPA
Right.
is part of your rest.
Yes.
To say, hey, wait, take a minute, let us look at it. Maybe you go take a walk. Let us do some analysis. Let us give you this is what would happen in this scenario. This would happen in this scenario. So then you've gone off, taken that rest, and you come back with a clear mind as you're looking at that, as opposed to being when you're breathing up here as opposed to down here. You know what they say? Something
Yeah.
around there with the stress.
yeah, I've heard
and-
about it.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes that's one of the things they need to do. So, and so I guess the last thing that I think is kind of close to this topic is prioritization, right? So you're grinding, even in the grinding, before you're resting, what do you think about prioritizing? And what are some things you should think about when you're prioritizing?
You talking about from a business
Yeah,
standpoint?
Yeah,
because in the text of your business and thinking about it from a grind and rest and God is working.
Task or client or whatever I can do that brings me the highest margin.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, have some clients, especially around tax time, right? So we're around tax time. You know, some of our clients are, we're trying to clean stuff up to
Yes.
get them ready for taxes.
Lots of cleaning.
Right. So, but I'm going to prioritize the client that has their books together. It's cleaner. I know that I can knock this out as opposed to spending a little bit of time here, a little bit of time here, a little bit of time. I'm the type of person that I like to have little victory dances. And so I'm going to prioritize what I know I can check off.
Check it off.
Check that box. We got it done. And let me kind of like paying down debt. Oh my gosh. And let me snowball my time into the next one. And as I check them off, then more time can go to the next item.
Okay. Yep.
So that is how I would prioritize from a business standpoint.
I would say for me, I'm prioritizing my exit. So
You're prioritizing your exit.
that's really the only thing I'm prioritizing at the
Oh,
moment.
your
exit
exit
from-
like to retirement kind of
yes,
thing. Okay.
Yes.
Please explain to our
that's what I'm
podcast listeners.
prioritizing. But just from a business standpoint, I don't really, contrary to Kimberly, I don't really focus on profit margin or like margin, you know, or even as it relates to time, because that's, you know, part of it as well. I thrive in chaos. So I have a lot of different deadlines, a lot of moving parts, lots of things going on. I really just try to find the joy in what I do because I really enjoy what I do. I really love building relationships with the client and you know, kind of thinking out of the box when time allows and all that good stuff. So there's nothing that I can pinpoint and say that I prioritize other than trying to make sure that I'm providing the best service to a client and that they really like the service that they receive. That if I were to prioritize anything, it's making sure that customer satisfaction is high.
Yes.
So
yes. Oh, definitely.
that's what I prioritize because I feel like when you prioritize that, then the money always comes, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what even as entrepreneurs out there, whether it's your client or your customer, but really prioritizing them helps your business.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the other piece of that is right after your client and your client/customer is the people who work with you.
Yeah. Your staff.
So yeah, your staff, your team, you know, making sure that you are prioritizing them and what are they getting whatever you want them to get out of being a part of your organization? Are you getting what you want out of them? You know, making sure that is simpatico.
Yes.
Because that can cause a lot of strife if you're not putting the right attention to that.
Yes.
Right after your client/customer.
Yeah. I agree.
That's true. And that is a new priority for me. Where I've recently had a training and brought someone in to kind of work on team building, mission, vision, collectively as an organization, not just me pushing down my thoughts or, you know, what I think, but taking everyone into consideration and, you know, keeping that person on so that she can do some more one-on-one consultation with individuals to help them grow professionally. So that is between the two, I would say. I mean,
smart
all
investment.
three of them. Money is important,
Right.
Because you got to
Right.
stay in business.
Right.
Satisfying your customers helps you do that,
Yes.
and satisfying your employees helps you do
satisfy
that.
your customers.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
Right.
all that,
Exactly.
all
exactly.
that and then some.
Right, right, exactly. So, all right, but before we get into our fun topic, maybe we should just kind of summarize what we're talking about. So, managing your mental health.
That's
Some of us
important.
do it through working out, whether you like it or not. Some of us do it through just singing or organizing or
Painting.
painting,
Yes,
what have
yes.
you. Taking a few minutes, taking a nap. Figuring out what is that you can disconnect.
Yeah,
And then we also talked about when you have doubt, you
Don't.
yeah,
you don't, right? So, and then priority, right? Really prioritizing. So when you are in that grind mode, what are you prioritizing in that grind? Or are you just is it the gerbil in the wheel? No. Is it the gerbil in the wheel?
it is a jerk or a hamster. One of the
Hamster.
two.
Hamster.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, do both of them are both of them
think
in the
they
wheel? I
both-
never had one
Yeah.
They're
growing up.
rodents.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I never. Yeah, it was a
Okay.
It was a
Okay.
rodent.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, but
Constantly
making
running
sure.
in circles.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, looking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So making sure that you keep those things in mind as you grind and rest, and let God do some work for you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, He wants to.
Yeah.
Open up. All right, so let's get into our shooting the topic of the podcast.
Okay. What we
So,
talk about today?
This is going to be the complete alternate of everything we just talked
Yes.
about.
Yes. Let's flip the script.
Because technically it was in my 30s, I think. But there was this, and it was a small business at the time. I don't even know if they're still around. If they are, somebody tell me. But they had shirts that said "Sleep is for suckers," and it had a big old eyeball. That was my 40s.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I
okay.
remember.
40s.
Yes. Yes.
And
Carry
it had
on.
a big old eyeball, and it had like little red lines. I love that shirt. Well, because we always didn't prioritize
Right.
rest.
Not.
Yeah.
no,
So
no,
let's
no.
talk about that was my 40s. Woo.
It was early
changed.
40s. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but let's talk about what are some things that we did when sleep was for suckers? Like, we think back to our 20s, 30s, early 40s, what were kind of some of the things that we did? I can think of one as I look at April.
Okay.
I'll let
Yeah.
y'all
The
go
two
first.
of you.
Yeah.
Tell the story.
Partying
Yes.
till the
Let
till
me
the
tell
sun
you,
comes.
I don't know. It's like it happens one day. It just snaps that you are no longer cool. I don't know. It's like it flows. You know all the latest clubs. You know where to go. We used to go. One couple times, but I'll say one. Me and April, we were out. There was a bar called Halo. Then there was what was the name of the club?
Haze.
Hey, like we went from
Where I
one
met
to
Tracy
the next.
McGrady.
Yes, yes. When she met Tracy McGrady and told him he had a lot of potential.
Yes, he
And
did.
he did right.
Okay,
Yeah, he was an
yeah.
all-star. And so we would go out all night, and then literally the sun would come up, and then we'd be like, okay, it's time to go home. Like,
Is it though?
well, I mean, the sun was up. And, so yeah, just all the great places in Atlanta at that time. Now, I couldn't tell you one. I couldn't tell you one club that is like open till 4 a.m.
Do
or
they
something.
have clubs?
Yeah.
Do we still
They
have
do.
clubs? Okay.
Because
Oh,
my
yeah.
little cousin,
Yeah.
they're like, we're going to, I think one of them started with an O. I don't even know what it was. And they didn't come back till like 4 or 5 o'clock. Yes. And they were like, we were at the club. So they do exist.
Yeah.
When did
Yeah.
we lose it?
Yeah, I don't know. Now mine is different because I never, not since college, I haven't partied all night.
Wait a second. Okay, let me think about it. Go ahead.
But I used to, and this was part of my grind, working in public accounting, it was a grind.
Yes, it was.
But then I was teaching class at church, and then I would work all weekend. And I remember one weekend where it was like I was working during the week. I had convinced partners like, look, I need to get off early on Wednesday because I got a class to teach at church. So I did get that, and I would go, but I would come back home and I would work. Then I would go into the office the next day, and this big cycle of doing all this. And it culminated, and this is right around the time when I would have fired April. We talk about because we were working
that out on the previous podcast.
We were working on one client, and I worked all weekend. And that Monday, I had PTO. I was going on vacation. I was going on a cruise.
Yeah. With no cell service.
Right. We didn't
How
have.
she gonna go on a cruise and leave me?
The one who should be fired.
Yeah.
If she would have,
leave me to do the work.
if she would have come in when she was supposed to and brought
I
her
was
work.
partying with Keena.
That's what I'm saying. This whole story. We were partying. She was working and going to church.
Right.
We all gonna get to heaven though.
And so
I repent for my sins.
I did not sleep, and I got on the road and I drove my car to the airport because I was going on that cruise. And I said, whatever,
And she
they'll handle
told me
it.
she was going on that cruise too.
And she still did not come in that weekend because she was partying with Keena. And I don't know how I made it. I don't know how I made it to the airport. Then I got on the cruise and was
Sleep.
no.
Oh.
That's when I realized I had motion sickness. So I was sick. I didn't know I suffered from motion sickness. It's my first ever cruise. Got on that cruise and was sick most of the cruise. But yes, that is one of those times. Now, I would never do that. I would never do
Never do what?
all of that.
all of it.
Like a whole week and weekend with
yeah.
very little sleep.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Isn't
I
it
was
crazy?
still go on my vacation.
Oh, okay.
But I might not,
Not a
work that
cruise.
whole weekend. It's
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, that's what. Hey,
We've done
grind,
it.
rest.
Yes.
Yes. And then grind again.
All right. Well, hope you all enjoyed this podcast. Hopefully you got something. Just step back and think about your situation around you and your business. And we'll talk to you next time.